Hello and welcome to the This Calls for Confetti YouTube channel. This is Lauren Taylor from Lauren Taylor Made, and I'm happy to be back here to create with you. I'm bringing back the Heart Glow collection. If you saw my last video, it's my current obsession. So I'm going to be using the Heart Glow 6x6 paper pad, the Heart Glow shaker pouch and coordinating dies, but just for the dies this time. And I'm also going to bring in the Heart Glow confetti mix to add some embellishments to my card. Now, the last video that I made with the Heart Glow collection, we did a quick and easy shaker card because it's so quick and easy when you have the shaker pouches and coordinating dies. But this time I wanted to create a different kind of interactive card. I wanted to make a light up card with the Heart Glow collection. So I'm going to use both dies to create a frame out of black cardstock, and then I cut out just the larger die out of some pearlescent vellum. I decided to also cut out the bottom part of the heart die, the smaller one, so the inside frame of the two dies. And I just grabbed a marker and I'm following the design of the digital stamp a bit to create the bottom of my bulb on some gray cardstock with a dark gray marker. I'm going to trim my background to be 4 by 5 1/4, so that way there is a little bit of a border around my background when I attach it to my A2 card base, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to just kind of get an idea of how my layout is going to be with my frame, but let's go ahead and assemble our light bulb together by adhering the pearlescent vellum to the back side of this black frame die cut from the Heart Glow die set. Once I've added liquid adhesive all along the back of my black cardstock frame, I'll go ahead and attach my pearlescent vellum. This is going to be the front or the bulb of my card when I add in a one light, which is a easy way of adding an interactive light to your card by Pear Blossom Press. So I glued in the little gray bottom of my bulb to my heart, but let's start moving into preparing to assemble our easy light or our one light behind the bulb to make it look like our heart-shaped light bulb lights up. So I have my top folding A2 card base, and I'm just going to layer everything together so I can kind of get an idea of the layout of my card. But I'm going to grab a pencil so I can determine where I need to poke a hole through my background and where my one light needs to be adhered down. Now, this is an older version of the One Light. You can get the latest and greatest from Pear Blossom Press, but I like to use up my stash, so before I buy any new ones, I'm going to use up my older ones. And it's very easy. It's a simple One Light. It's the mechanism with a button and an LED, and all you need to do is slide in the coin battery to get it going. So here you can see I want my bulb to be kind of at the bottom of my heart shaped right next to the twisty part of the bulb. And I know that I want my button to be kind of to the lower right. So I drew a pencil mark on my card base where the button needs to go. And then I drew a little mark where my light bulb is going to shine through, or the LED is going to shine through. So I knew where to poke a hole. I just use my poking tool and a piece of foam to punch that hole through the pattern paper, and then use my pencil again so I know exactly how to angle my one light so that the battery overlaps the little spot I drew first and the LED overlaps the second spot that I drew in with my pencil through the hole that I punched on my pattern paper. I added some double-sided adhesive, and I'm angling my one light to be exactly where I drew my little dots. And of course, I've got to test it out, make sure it looks good. And I'm pretty happy with how things are looking, so we can move on to actually gluing everything together. I'm going to use the foam adhesive from Pear Blossom Press called the World's Best Foam Tape because it is the perfect thickness for all of their battery mechanisms. And I'm just going to add foam adhesive to all four sides of my pattern paper background, making sure to leave enough space for the battery pack. So I did trim some of the foam adhesive in half. I also added a couple just around the battery pack to give it some reinforcement, as that's going to have a lot of user use where they press the button for the one light. Now that that's in place, I'm grabbing a strip from the double-sided adhesive foam strips from This Calls for Confetti. I'm going to actually peel off both sides of the release paper so that way it just makes it a little easier to maneuver, and that way I could just wrap this foam tape around the curves on the back side of the Heart Glow die. So it fits perfectly behind my black cardstock that I use to create the front frame of my heart-shaped light bulb. Once it's covered and there's enough support behind my light bulb or my heart-shaped light bulb, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the front of the card, making sure that I like the placement and everything seems to be coming together how I imagined. I'm going to grab a sentiment from the Heart Glow collection, and this time I'm going to use "Thanks for brightening my day." I'll go ahead and just trim it with a paper trimmer, and then I'll also grab my scissors to trim off the excess from the left and the right so that it fits a little better on my card. I'm just trying to figure out the placement because I don't want it too close to cover the LED, but I also didn't want it to be too high up on the card. I'll also use some foam adhesive on the sides of the sentiment so it can attach to the card base where it's not overlapping the heart bulb in the middle of the card. So I'm playing around, checking the easy light, making sure I'm happy with the width of my sentiment. So here you can see I'm just trimming off a little bit off the sides, and then I'll add those foam adhesive pieces to the back side of my sentiment on the left and right, like I said. So it won't be where it overlaps with the heart frame, it will be where it overlaps the pattern paper on the background. We'll go ahead and get that into place, and then we'll move on to the next step. I mentioned in my previous video that my favorite confetti from the Heart Glow confetti mix are the pretty little 4-pointed stars in the collection. So I'm going to grab my lift in release tool to pick up a bunch of these little stars out of the mix and just add them around my light bulb. And once I'm happy with the placement, I'll pick them up again with my lift and release tool, add some liquid adhesive, and then secure those little confetti pieces down. I'm going to test my light one more time, but I also realized that I needed to add a little sentiment so my card receiver knows that they need to push there. You can use any of your favorite interactive stamp sets. Pear Blossom Press has a press here, so I just went ahead and used that on a small white circle die cut to glue that right into place. I'm sorry for the bad quality here, but I wanted to turn off my light so you can see how it glows. Here it is in a lower light. I just think it's so fun, and I hope you had fun following along as well. I love making interactive cards, and this Heart Glow collection is just perfect for a light up card. You can find more inspiration here on the This Calls for Confetti YouTube channel. You can also find more on Instagram, on Pinterest, and Facebook. We hope you'll click like if you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you're new here, we hope you'll subscribe and come back. Bye!